about the internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward. There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to an episode of 24-Hour Script. Let's get right into today's video. We are going to go over very hardcore based evidence, video proof, information of the whole political drama with JP Morgan and Ripple. You won't see it on the news, but you'll see it on this channel. If you guys are new, sit back, relax, because this video is going to just have everything from A to Z, okay? Where do we even begin? Let's start off with some very bullish news just before an announcement of a settlement or a victory, or we'll see. The Hinman email is just exposed to the SEC. They back out. Let's see how it goes. Ripple posted a job posting, lead product manager, crypto settlement in New York, New York. Why are they coming to the States? Why are they here? Why do they have a little headquarters here? But take a listen what they'll do. Understand how to build and scale 0 to 1 products. If you do not know what 0 to 1 products mean, it's very bullish. 0 to 1 describes the process of creating something radically new and taking it to the first step, or extensive growth, parabolic growth. There's going to be many products that are going to be coming out in the near future that Ripple is working on that is going to completely change the game that the banking works today in the back end of things. So back in 2000 and probably back in 2015, there was a lot of dilemma going on, but let's just start off with Consensus. The man behind Consensus is Joseph Lupin, which we're going to get into a nice little video of him, cherishing the SEC. And then we're also going to get into some videos that you guys may have already seen about the beef within Ripple when the JPM coin came out. So if you guys didn't know, back in 2020, Consensus acquires Quorum platform from JP Morgan. There's a lot of back and forth going on here, okay? They probably sold it. They had probably closed door meetings saying you acquire it, you do whatever, and then we're going to scam you. You're probably saying, what do you mean they're going to scam you? There's a lawsuit going on. This is where your eyes are going to be like, wow. Your eyes are going to really open up here, folks. Let's go to 2021. Consensus raises $65 million from JP Morgan, MasterCard, UBS to build infrastructure for DeFi. Remember, Ripple is going into DeFi. It's an all-in-one enterprise, folks, okay? JP Morgan just can't keep up with Ripple. And then we have this 2022 Consensus lawsuit reveals JP Morgan owns critical Ethereum infrastructure. What a rat, right? What a rat. In the videos you're about to see, it's going to print you the best picture. This should be given to the SEC. They should all watch it in their boardroom. It would be amazing. And then the case will end, right? Take a listen to this. A group of 35 shareholders of Ethereum giant Consensus have filed a special audit of 2020 deal that saw JP Morgan Chase acquire an influential stake in 2 of its flagship products. That is big, folks. Can you believe that? This is crazy. And then let's get into this little video. So first, take a listen to what Brad Garlinghouse said here.
I think the vast majority of banks, like 99.9% of banks, actually are paying other banks, the kind of the global money center banks like JP Morgan or Citibank, to make those settlements. 99.9% of banks actually are paying other banks, the kind of the global money center banks like JP Morgan or Citibank, to make those settlements. So a lot of the banks are very excited about democratizing how these global payments flow.
JP Morgan, right? The hub for those payments. Same with Citibank, but now, they're working with Ripple, which we know. And then JP Morgan executes intraday repo transaction using blockchain. This was December 10th, 2020. And it went on to say both collateral and cash legs of the repo transactions were settled using blockchain, with the cash leg leveraging JPM coin. And this is what Brad Garlinghouse and Ashish Birla thought about JPM coin way back then. And keep in mind, Ashish Birla has been with Ripple. He's a board member currently, but for 10 years. This man is an OG, but take a listen to him. You guys have seen this, but this needs to be ingrained.
Yeah, I mean, I think the one thing that's really interesting about the JPM coin is that it's essentially just a database rebranded as a blockchain. I mean, there's really no inherent need for using a blockchain for that.
He was interviewing me. I said, so is Morgan Stanley going to use the JPM coin? And he's like, well, probably not. And so, well, is Citi going to use the JPM coin? Is B of A going to use the JPM coin? Is PNC? And the answer is no. If you're just moving it within the JPM ledger, and it has to be dollar to dollar, a one-to-one backing, it honestly doesn't actually, I don't understand what problem that solves.
Do you see where the conflict is? So, this was December 10th. December 14th, guess who came over? Ripple adds Sandy O'Connor to board of directors. O'Connor recently retired as the Chief Regulatory Affairs Officer for JP Morgan Chase, where she set the firm's comprehensive regulatory strategy and led engagement with G20 regulators and policymakers regarding evolving regulation. And she's here at Ripple. And take a look at her resume. She's with the FDIC, massive, searched up if you haven't already. This is just the tip of the iceberg. She's a board member of Ripple, board of directors at Ripple. Sorry, I meant to say BNY Mellon on the first one, board of directors. You can't make this stuff up. And guess what happens after all of this? SEC comes down on Ripple on December 22nd, 2020. And now take a listen to how this is all gonna end, right? So we're gonna get into Lupin. Take a listen to Lupin. We're gonna get into Michael Barr. This is the first video that's starting, and we're gonna end off the video like this. This is the icing on the cake. Michael Barr, massive. This is crazy, folks. I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Take a listen to this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And we will be back with another video.
You don't want to choke off innovation, and particularly with regulation. Sometimes incumbents will use regulation to block new entrants into the system. So you want to be very careful that you're not kind of locking in the power of the dinosaurs.
The SEC is tooled up now and very aware. Today it would shut down a sale structured like the EOS sale before it was able to turn on its first billboard in Times Square. Gary Gensler and the SEC are doing a great job of driving projects in our ecosystem to radically decentralize themselves. I could even call Gary the shining knight of decentralization.
Oh boy.
We continue to issue tokens. We've been doing a very good job of issuing securities law compliant tokens right from the start. Bill Hinman, Director of Corporate Finance of the SEC, about 2 months ago made remarks about Ether, that it's not a security.
But it's happening.
And if you mentioned Jamie Dimon, so let's bring it back to Jamie and JP Morgan. What do you think is going to be the thing that they will have to change the most or lose market share and somebody else is going to do better, faster, serve their clients better than JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs can do?
You can just hear the bankers panicking right now.
But what
feel the panic in their voices.
But here's business that is most.
Well, here's what always happens. The first thing that happens is they try to go, oh, it's nothing. And they did that. I mean, that's with every new industry, every new technology comes along, the powers that be, the incumbents, the status quo, all say, it's nothing. Don't ignore the man behind the curtain. This is nothing. And then all of a sudden it's too big to get in there. They're going, oh my God, I got to face this thing. And then they all line up and they wrap their arms together and they say, we're not letting this happen. And then it keeps going. And then they say, okay, well, let's sue them. or let's go get the government.
There's another thing they do. They adopt the technology. I think.
No, that's at the end.
They will adopt this technology.
No, this is the last thing they do. No,
Yeah, it's like
it's
the
after.
seven
It's
stages
after.
of grief, I
Right.
know.
It's after the press planting. They plant the press stories. They put out lawsuits. They create as much of a fuss as possible. They try to get their government friends involved. And then they go, oh God, this thing's happening.
Market funds experienced acute liquidity strains. You all remember that. This reflected a structural liquidity mismatch at the heart of their operations, with them offering on-demand liquidity to investors.
RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough.
On-demand liquidity.
And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch. We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.